All right, it's time for another Q&A. This is the third one now, so if you want to go check out the other ones, you can. There might be a few repeats. I don't really remember what I answered half the time, and sometimes things change because it's been a few months. The first question is gaming, and yes, I agree. You ever play any roguelikes? If so, what's your favorites? I don't really like a lot of roguelikes, surprisingly. I like to think I like them, but I don't. I really don't. I tried Rad recently, it's okay. Gunfire Reborn I played for a while, and Risk of Rain 2 is pretty cool. What kind of games do you enjoy the most and least, and why? Games that do weird things and tell a story that is cool. I don't know how to describe that. I liked Undertale, Deltarune, Wandersong, Chicory from what I played was pretty good. Outer Wilds, it's typically indie stuff that does this, but games that do unique things that only a game could do. And my least favorite is JRPGs. I haven't played many of them, and when I tried, I just can't get into them. If you ever made a game, what would it be? And why would it be a psychedelic FPS with funny turtles? If I were to make a game, it'd probably be like a first-person, movement-based thing. I don't know if it'd be a shooter or just a parkour-like thing, but I really like fast-paced movement games, and I think it'd be cool to design one of those, but I don't know how to make video games. So it's also kind of funny to imagine a game where you're a snail, but you move really fast. That would be kind of fun. What is your audio setup? Mic, interface, software? It's clear and high quality, much like your video editing. Thank you. Rock and Stone. I use a Shure SM58 as my mic, and that's an XLR mic. It costs probably $80. That runs into a Wave XLR by Elgato, and it used to run into a variety of different audio interfaces that were utter shit, and the drivers were ancient, and they were a disaster until I finally got the Wave XLR when it came out, and it has saved me so much frustration. Audio interfaces are a nightmare. And for software, I use Adobe Audition because I have access to it because I use Adobe software. If I didn't have access to it, I would be using Audacity and it would be basically the exact same thing. Yo, Sniss, is there anyone or anything in particular that inspired your style of editing? I mostly make videos in a style depending on the game, not really on a specific YouTube channel. If you look at my videos, they usually try to fit within the theme of the game or my interpretation or how I would make a video about it. I don't know. I make color palettes for videos sometimes. I choose fonts for videos. It's almost like designing a website, but it's a video. So yeah, the deep rock stuff in general sticks to dark with a golden yellow. I've ventured out of that quite a bit too. How much time do you spend editing a video? They are really well done. Thank you. It depends on the video. The main DRG series can take me anywhere from 3 to 5 days to edit, but it has taken more before because I feel like I have a standard to live up to with that, and I really want to nail those and get those right. For the non-main series DRG videos, so anything that's not the blank of DRG, it takes a little less time, 2 to 3 days, but sometimes, it takes quite a bit. I think the shortest recently was the stolen car review took a day. Will you ever try out a snail VTuber model if someone made you one? Sure. Yeah, I would need. I don't know how to use a VTuber model. I'm assuming you'd use Face Rig or something. I also don't really have any desire to become a VTuber, but I'd try a snail. I'd try a snail VTuber model. I like snails. Deep Rock question: if you could create any game mode or mission type, what would it be? It would be something like on-site refining. Maybe focused more on moving around, which is kind of difficult, but I want something that's an in-between of mining expedition and on-site refining, where it's a linear cave, but you have to build heavy machinery. That kind of sounds like escort duty almost, but I think escort duty's weakest link is that there isn't really much to explore because you just drill through a bunch of caves. Something that focuses heavily on exploration, kind of like mining expedition. How TF you edit so good? I use After Effects. Except a few things, maybe the outros are usually just done in Premiere. I love After Effects. It's probably not very intuitive, but that's what I do. If you got to decide what the canon story of Carl was, what would you make it? I would go with the Russian propaganda thing where he's like a worker figure that everyone looks up to, but he was never real. So people are just living up to this standard that was set by DRG as a secret fake guy. I like that. I think that's sick. I can't remember if someone's asked you this before, neither can I, but who would you say inspired you to do what you do? like how you make your vids, what you make them on, or what games you play. For how I make my vids, it's probably Uncle Dane and Funk. For what I make my videos on, me. I get that's like all me. I make what I want to. And what games I play, it's probably just what I see on Steam or what I see people who I like playing. Like I watch a lot of Jerma. He plays a game, I play it. I don't know. Favorite games as a child. I played a lot of children's MMOs. Wizard 101, Toontown, Club Penguin, Webkins, Free Realms. I played them all, man. The Nick one, I don't remember the name of the Nickelodeon one. Nicktopia or whatever the hell. Habbo, Roblox. I played Roblox briefly too. So yeah, lots of children's MMOs. Or like online games, I guess. I don't know. I think those all count as MMOs. Favorite carpet design? The Shining one. You know which one I'm talking about. When did you start to edit? I started editing in like 2012 or 2013, and I didn't have any software other than After Effects, which I totally legally obtained, as everyone else does. And yeah, I just started messing with that. I hadn't had any experience with Sony Vegas or anything. I probably messed with Windows Movie Maker a little, but yeah, it was all After Effects in 2012 or 2013. Do you stream? If you don't already, are you planning on streaming? I try to stream. I don't do it very often or consistently, but yeah, I enjoy streaming quite a bit and I would like to do it more, but just with how my life situation is, it's kind of hard to consistently be a place where I can stream. What do you think about the Sabata and why do you think it's horrible? I like the Sabata. I think it's fun. I like using it more than the EPC. It feels better to use than the EPC. I don't like slow projectile-based weapons. They feel bad. The Mactera upgrade for the Sabata is good. I get why people don't like it because you have to click a ton, but I like that gun. I think it's good. Wait, you were actually Funny Dwarf? No. I've seen multiple comments of people saying they think I'm Funny Dwarf. I don't know if I said something that confused a couple people, but I'm not Funny Dwarf. That's not me. That is actually just some person's account. I have no idea who it is. It might be someone I know. I don't know. But Funny Dwarf is not me. I did not make that account. What is, in your opinion, the best and worst enemy in the game? The best is the Bulk and the worst is the Menace. The Menace is essentially an acid spitter that shoots faster and is harder to hit. So that's terrible. Is this a good cat? Yeah. Yeah, that's a great cat, actually. That's one happy dude. He's looking great. I like that cat. Thank you for that. When was the last time you touched grass? What's grass? Never heard of it. I don't know what that is. Do you think there needs to be some weapon balance changes or even reworks? Incoming weapons included. I don't think there needs to be any reworks. I also think the weapons are pretty well balanced right now. I think Driller's grenades could use some work more than anything. Other than that, I'm pretty much fine with where it is right now. The incoming weapons, like 4 new primaries, will probably be a little too good on launch, I think, especially the Hurricane. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, that's just my prediction. Any thoughts on the mechanics of the newly introduced DRG weaponry? Any favorites and why? My favorite's the Hurricane. I liked Half-Life 2's rocket launcher, and I never thought about it being in another video game, especially DRG. Yes, please. And just the idea of having overclocks and weapon upgrades to modify that thing. Oh my god, that sounds so fun. All the weapons look good. My least favorite was the plasma rifle. And I was kind of worried about it being too similar to the assault rifle, but they showed it off recently on a live stream, and it looks pretty different to the point where it looks like it'll be fun. I'm excited for all of them. What inspired you to make content in the first place, and what drove you to mainly focus on Deep Rock? I've always wanted to make videos, especially on video games, but just in general on entertainment that I enjoy, because the idea of being able to share something that I like with someone else and they like it and they found it because of me or just found it because of a video I made makes me really happy. That's kind of the whole goal of the channel, is to just show people things they might like or just talk about things that I like. I just chose Deep Rock because it's been one of my favorite games for a long time now, and I know a lot about it. I like talking about it. Will you be selling the Garlic Bacon King burger at my local underground Burger King? The underground Burger Kings, the managers have chosen to opt out of the Garlic Bacon King burger because it's shit. But also bringing that thing to Hoxie's, not a good idea. Those bugs, they're going to eat that up. They're going to like mutate or something. They're going to smell bad, and like dwarves will like die from like smelling it. I don't know. It's bad. It's a bad idea. Are you going to make a weapon guide, builds, animation, canceling, etc.? I make videos that take a really long time to edit just because I try to make them look really nice. And that time to edit is time that I spent doing it. I spend time keyframing all that. To make a video on like a build guide and just release it and then have the game update and weapon balance changes happen, and then all of those builds are kind of void because the game is different now, it sounds awful. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather make content that will actually last and like not get out of date. Hey Sniss dude man, what do you prefer in games? Good and memorable art style or amazing and realistic graphics? Good and memorable art style. I'm sure you've heard all these points before, but the memorable art styles last longer, age better, and are way more interesting than trying to make a bush look a little more realistic. I do have to say though, realistic graphics are like an interesting thing. Like they're really cool to me, and it's cool to watch that get pushed and stuff, like how we do facial animations and stuff. I don't know, it's realistic graphics aren't like bad, they just age worse, and I don't think they're as interesting to look at. Are there any environments or biome types you want to see added to DRG? I want a biome that has a white-ish rock and it has a bunch of crystals, like crystalline caverns, but more, like way more crystal shapes, and they're a lot more jagged and interesting, and they're all very like pastel-y. That would be sick. Favorite class weapon and overclock? My favorite weapons are probably the M1000 and the engineer's shotgun, the Warthog, because I can't decide between those two. And my favorite overclock is special powder for the boomstick. It just lets you hop around and it's fun. Hi Sniss, how many hours of DRG have you played? I've played over 1,000, like 1,500 or so, I think. I don't know how much of that is like actually in the game or me recording or what, but yeah, my Steam is around 1,500, I think. I know you mentioned that you enjoyed Outer Wilds, but have you heard anything about the upcoming DLC? And if so, what are your thoughts? Yeah, I saw the DLC was getting there were some leaks about it and stuff, and Outer Wilds is a game that felt like it wrapped up into a nice little package and a bow, and it was like, hey, you did it all right, and then this DLC comes along and it seems like it wasn't like that, and I like that. That's interesting. It gets me engaged. So I'm very excited for Echoes of the Eye. I will be playing that right away on September 28th. So yeah, that's all the questions. I'll probably have another one of these out in a couple months or so. I asked for questions and got a lot more this time than the previous one, probably because there's a lot more people here now. I might have to do these more frequently than I thought. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. Rockin' Stone.